like, why are we not live yet? Sorry, guys. We've literally just been talking for like a couple of minutes, thinking that I had gone live, but I didn't actually press live. But that's all right. Never mind. And no, Evo, I'm not going to make you breakfast yet. You have to make your own breakfast if you're hungry. Or wait until the live stream is over.
Turn this comment on. Okay. Oh.
I think
1 a.m. for Lego Ninjago.
Yeah, Lego is my little protege. I'm coaching her. She's going to compete next year, so I'm helping her out with that. Yeah. She's doing really well.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it is actually. So I think we are actually live now. I guess we'll just wait for people to come in. I'm not expecting a large volume of people, just simply because of the time difference. It's 5 a.m. here, and it's like 10 at night for you, right?
Yeah, it's 10 p.m. here in Canada.
Yeah, so, but guys, in case you don't know, I mean, you should know by now, this is Jana. She is a regular feature on my channel. And we were talking the other day because, well, actually a few weeks ago, because she did a post on Instagram. And I can't remember, I think it was your setup actually. And I was like, oh, are you into this sort of, not supernatural, but I would say like witchy? Can I say that witchy? Is that the right terminology? I don't want to offend somebody.
Witchy, you could say occult, you could say like,
occult, yeah.
Yeah, occult beliefs, I guess you could say. Yeah.
So she was like, yeah, I actually am. And then we kind of ended up talking, and I asked if she minded coming onto a live stream and maybe showcasing some of her skills and abilities. And she was up for it. So alas, here we are. We're gonna do some tarot reading on the chat. So she'll explain all of that. She's gonna do a spread on me, and we'll kind of go from there. But yeah, there's a lot of facets to our personalities in our lives, it seems like.
I know, it's just always surprise people when they're like, what? You do this? You do that? Yeah, so I have, I guess, a little bit of background of like how I got here to this. Is I have always kind of had like a sixth sense or like a knowing, like growing up. I was always really empathic, so I could like feel the energies of other people. I could always sense things. If you guys believe in spirits, I could always sense spirits, things like that, not talk to them or anything. I could just sense if there was something else going on. And I've always had a really deep connection with animals. So in a really strange way, which kind of really fits what I do now. Like I work with people and I also work with animals. I work in a vet clinic, and then I also do coaching and stuff as well. So I found that I was just like more into like the healing side of things. I could always like pick up on if my friends were having issues, things like that. And I always just felt like there was something more. I actually grew up Christian in a pretty not strict Christian household, but I always felt like there was like something more. So something more than this, something more than just Christian beliefs and that kind of a thing. I'm not into doing like, I'm not a Wiccan. I'm not so much into paganism. My background is a lot of Irish and Scottish, Viking heritage, Norse.
So very old magic.
Old magic, yes.
Old occult.
Old occult, yes. And so there's also Egyptian and things in my bloodline. So I feel like I've always had a very spiritual tie to things. And so one day, I guess the part that kind of got me started on this is I just picked up a pack of oracle cards, and I just realized that I do readings for myself. I do readings for other people, and people were always like, oh my goodness, yes, like how do you do that? And then it just kind of evolved from there. So I consider myself to be an eclectic witch, which means I take things from all sorts of different backgrounds. And I just kind of have like my own beliefs. Like I'm more spiritual than anything. So I do a variety of different things. I believe in crystals. I believe in spells and magic and fairies and all sorts of stuff. So it's just kind of just this weird little part of myself that I've kept secret for a while. But yeah, so today I'm kind of hoping to do some card pulls for some people. I have 3 decks that I have laid out that I'm going to be working with. I've got the traditional Rider-Waite tarot deck here, which I'm fairly new to using. I've used other tarot cards. The traditional deck I haven't. I've also got goddess cards, and then I've also got oracle cards here. So depending on the question and what I feel, I'm going to pull from a particular deck, I think, depending on the person and their energy that I'm getting from them. But before we do that, I kind of just wanted to just do a little bit of a sage clearing of my space to get my energy in a good spot.
Got some as well.
Yes. So the important thing with saging is that you can use sage, you can use white sage, you can use Paleo Santo. Just make sure that wherever you're getting your sage from, Maya, yes, you can have a card pull. So I want you guys, as you're in the chat, if you want me to pull a card for you, I want you to really think of the question, and I'll explain that more here in a second on how to set your intent. I have questions. So with saging, you want to make sure that wherever you're getting your sage from or your Paleo Santo, that they are coming from just really reliable sources, but they're also coming from sources that are sustainable, that are from the source. So I get my sage is from a local shop who actually gets it from a local group of Aboriginals who bless it and use it, that have basically given permission for others to use it. We don't really typically like
I got mine online. Is that a problem?
Yes. No, it's not. You can totally get them online.
It seemed like a legit shop. You know, they seem to be like eco-friendly and stuff like that.
Yeah. You can absolutely get sage from anywhere, as long as like you get good vibes from them. And like, I mean, Walmart in some places sells sage. I wouldn't go to Walmart and get your sage because you don't know if it's ethnically sourced. So we don't really like to call this smudging, just because it's a little bit of a culture appropriation with Aboriginal First Nations cultures. They have a whole special ritual called smudging that only certain appointed members of their tribes can actually do. So we don't like to. And yeah, your sage from your balcony. I pick sage. It grows wild here in the summer, so I'll go and pick it for myself as well. Well, Eva's just asking questions. Save it for the end, Eva. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead. I have candles here in front of me. I'm just gonna light my sage. Oh, I blew one out. That's not good. Okay.
So do you have to do anything, or do you just wave it around and think about good energy sort of thing?
So it depends on you. Like if you feel silly for saying something out loud, you can just say it in your mind. Like when I'm about to do any sort of casting or reading or just inner work or meditating, I will usually walk about my space, and I will just, I always use a feather to kind of spread about. You don't have to use a feather. You can just wave it around. Basically, all you got to do is just say, I invite spirits of light and energy and love, the angels and the guides and goddesses and gods, whoever you believe in, whoever you're asking to join you in your space.
Yeah.
You say, I invite those in to help guide me and protect me as I do X, Y, Z. So you could say, like, as I do my meditating, as I cast, as I read these cards, or whatever it is that you're going to do. And then you're also going to smudge yourself. So you can just say, I remove any energies that is not of light and love from my being, so that I am clear. I am able to get guidance from my ancestors, from my spirits, my guides, right? So you want to invite in all that is good, all that is of light and love, and remove any negative energies. If you might have to light your sage a couple of times. Mine likes to burn out, but you just walk about your space, just clear the air. All right. Clearing my cards.
I kind of
So I know
said
you
that
guys,
in a very short form.
yeah, you can, and the cool thing about this is that you can adjust this to be like anything that you want it to be. Like I have definitely done research like into Wiccan, and I just found for me it was like just too much, like too structured. It was too regulated in how things were done, and that's just not me.
Can I ask, is a lot of this, is it meant to be, is it meant, how do I say it? So when you say like magic and spells, a lot of it is more intent, and a lot of it is, it's not like you're gonna like wish a fireball and it's gonna happen in the palm of your hands, right? It's more
No.
like, it's more like being in tune with the universe and like wishing intent and what's the word when you like
And manifesting.
manifesting, yeah, that's it. So it's not meant to be taken literal. I mean, it is to a degree, but
Yeah.
it's not. It's more like about intentions and desires and thinking about it, and then that way maybe your path will lead onto it.
Yeah, so another term for it is that I like to use, like the type of magic that I do is called practical magic. So it's magic that is meant to help you like every day in your life. And magic is just believing in, manifesting things from the universe. If you want to think about it, like a ritual or a spell that you cast is no different than what you would do like at church. Like it's very metaphorical in what you're
Right.
doing, and you're finding items that represent what you're trying to bring about. So if I wanted to cast a spell that was like, okay, I want to manifest some more money into my life. When you think about things all the
Evo's
time,
listening.
he was listening. He's like, how do I get more money? Like, if you want more abundance, if you want more money to come into your life, then you should be finding items that represent money, what money is to you. So there are certain herbs like cinnamon, bay leaves, there's cloves, any of those spicier smells, and then there's also the color green, there's coins, things like that you can gather, and you can make like a money bag or a money jar, and you have those things with you. Like for me, I carry mine in my purse, and I just make sure once a day I give my money bag a shake, and that's just reminding me to put the intent out there that I want to draw more income to myself, and I'm not worrying about how it's going to come. But I know that I'm being positive. I'm doing good things in my life every day to kind of evoke that positivity to come back to me in the form of money. So if that makes sense. So,
Yeah.
if you're putting out good, you're going to get good. And then it's just constantly always having that intent in your mind. And the more energy you put into something, the more it's going to come back to you. Like, have you ever noticed that, like, when you buy a new car, say you buy, like for us, we bought a Ford Escape, and then all of a sudden you start seeing that same car all over the place.
Yeah.
Well, that's just because you are now noticing it. You're putting so much intent into it that now you see it all the time.
Right.
So that's basically how manifestation works. When people talk about like, oh, I manifested my dream house, it doesn't mean that they sat and just thought about it every day.
Yeah.
It means that they actually did put actions into place to get there. They didn't just wish for it to happen and it happened, but they were taking the steps and creating the path to get there. So opportunities came their way where they were making enough to be able to get the house. Maybe they worked hard and put that energy into it, and the universe said, now you have enough money. Yes, you worked hard. Here's the house that you pictured in your mind, and it's the right price for you. That kind of a thing. Yeah, so that's just kind of how it works.
I also had another question, just in terms of like good energy and negative energy. So I guess the first one is like, obviously, even if you may not necessarily believe in this, which is fine, like everybody is allowed to have whatever what they believe in. If you don't believe in it, can you still like attract negative energies? And like, how aware do people? How cautious should people be of actual negative dark energies?
Well, negative energy can come in a variety of different ways. It can come if you have trauma that you've never dealt with, for example. you've never dealt with that, you're always going to kind of have this negative energy about you. So then you're going to have things come to you that it always seems like people that are always just down on their luck, they can just never get ahead. You know, people are always screwing them over, that kind of a thing. It's because they're also putting out that negative energy. But there are things out there like negative. If you believe in spirits and ghosts and things like that, there are negative spirits. There's, you know, I don't know, demons, if you want to call them. And I don't mean like, you know, horned demons. I mean just really kind of bad spirits that are out there that are playing tricks on people, that kind of a thing. If you're constantly negative, you can definitely attract that to you. But I don't think people should wander around every single day and be like, oh my God, is there a negative spirit following me? Like, I don't think that's the case. But for example, we were kind of talking in the chat about Ouija boards. I messed with an Ouija board when I was a kid and I didn't do it properly. And I had the same nightmare my whole entire life. It was the same spirit. It was the same nightmare. And it started shortly after I messed with that, and it followed me with my whole life. And I didn't think about it. I just thought this was just this scary nightmare that I just always had. And it wasn't until talking to somebody who knew a lot about this stuff who said, well, did you ever think that maybe like because you didn't close out your Ouija board session when you were a kid, that you've left it open for this thing just to follow you around your whole life? And she took me over to the Ouija boards, and all we said is, you are no longer allowed to affect me. You're not allowed into my life or my dreams. Goodbye. And I have not had that nightmare since. And that was 2 years ago.
That's
so
crazy.
It's weird stuff like that, right? But negative spirits can show up in different ways. It could be different negative energies, negative spirits. If you have an item in your home that came from, like, say, a secondhand store, things
cemetery.
like that. Cemetery, you know, stuff like that. There's definitely entities that feed around the negative energies and things like that. So they're pretty easy to get rid of, depending on what the situation is, how they've attached to you. Most of the time, you can just basically say, I don't want you here. And if you say it in an authoritative voice, they'll go. They have to go. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I think we'll probably be ready for some like tarot drawing. We've got a little bit of an audience, not massive, but that's fine. How do we go about this? Are we going to do the chat first?
Yeah, so I was thinking that we would do the chat. When you guys are asking your questions, I want you to try and have that question like very strong in your mind as you type it. There are just some things that, like, I can't tell whether or not you're going to get $1 million. I can't do all of that where, like, don't ask me to, like, make somebody fall in love with you or any of that kind of stuff, because that stuff doesn't work. But as you're asking, just be really, like, put the intent into the question, because that's going to help me on my end. And just so you know, like, don't ask, like, specifically, like, am I going to get $1 million? Is my grandma, you know, like, gonna live? Like, you can't ask questions like that, because tarot isn't about telling the future. Tarot is just bringing to light what you already know deep within you. It's
So
just
it's
kind
more,
of,
for example, so just to help so that people understand what kind of questions to ask. So for example, it would be like, I hate my job. Should I go for this opportunity that I've been thinking about? Should I go for the career change that I've been thinking about all this time? Or shall I just stick out within my job? Is it more stuff like that? Like kind of very almost like in a crossing in your life, or not so much?
Kind of. Or if it's like a decision that you're trying to make on a person, that kind of a thing. And I'm only doing like 1 card draws, so it's a little bit harder to get an in-depth reading of your question. It will kind of be more surface. And that's something else too I want you guys to know is, like, I don't do this all the time for people. So if the question doesn't make sense, or if the answer doesn't make sense, it either means that you are probably either not intent enough or clear enough in your question, or it's something that will make sense later.
Right.
So yeah, so I can't do like a full draw, like a full spread would be more descriptive into an answer, but I'm just doing one card draws just to make it easier for people. So yeah.
All right, shall I put the question that comes up, shall I put it up here on the chat so that we can see which question which is being answered? Because we may get like several of them and it may be difficult for you to focus in on.
Yes, yeah.
And somebody also asked about what decks you're using, but I guess that may depend on the question.
Well, I'll get a sense, like I'm going to be sticking mostly to the Rider-Waite tarot deck, which is the original tarot deck. It's the most commonly used out there. I also have the cards that I use 99.9% of the time are my goddess cards. I get really good readings from these, and these are more oracle cards. So these are going to be a little bit easier to draw from. These are more of yes or no answers. And then there's also, I've got just you are your oracle cards. I've used these a few times, and same thing. These are more like based in self-discovery. So if you have questions of like, you know, I feel really trapped by this decision, or should I leave the house that I'm living in, or, you know, what is my issue with self-love? Like, these are kind of the cards that I would use. So it depends on the question, but I'm probably going to be using just my tarot cards.
All right, I reckon we'll just get started and we'll go from there. I think, like, I'm not 100% sure how it goes. I'm sure that as we go along with this and the questions come through, the questions that make sense or that are good questions to ask, I'm sure we'll figure it out. You'll know what to do. It's just like I don't know what to do, and the chat's a bit like unsure, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So just ask away. First question, and I'll bring it up on the screen. Whoever comes through.
Yeah, and sometimes too, it's like, I know there's just somebody saying like if the answer doesn't make sense, it may not make sense right away. Like there's times where people have read for me and I'm like, this is bogus. I don't even know what this means. And then 2 days later, I'll have a situation come up and I'm like, that's what it means. So it's entirely dependent on the person. So am I ready to let go of my eating disorder? I feel like that is a goddess card question because I have asked that question myself. Oh, get some jumping cards here.
Oh, that's good.
And there's too many, it's hard to tell which card. So think deep on that question.
I'm kind of like in suspense here. I'm like, well, I wonder what's going to come out from it.
No.
So yeah, we will do my reading as well, which will be a bit more in depth. It's just we're going to do a little bit of the chat first, just to make it a bit more interactive. And there is some other.
Okay. All right. So what came up for you for area not 51 is Artemis, which is the guardian.
Hold on, let me remove this.
So see that. So Artemis, the guardian, she's a protector. She's the goddess of hunting. She's the goddess of that primal side of femininity. And when you say, am I ready to let go of my eating disorder yet? I mean, that's a pretty inward question. And when Artemis shows up, she's basically saying that you're protecting yourself. There's something going on deep down that you're afraid of letting go of, and you're protecting yourself. And she's saying that it's okay. She's going to be there to protect you when you are ready to let go. So you might be holding yourself back by saying, am I ready? There's this piece of fear that is keeping you from moving forward, of letting go of your eating disorder. You're using it as a crutch. And what Artemis is saying is, let go of that. Don't worry about it. I'm here. I have your back. So if you decide to let go of your eating disorder, which you will in your time, she will be there to help you deal with all the stuff that you currently use your eating disorder for to deal with as your coping mechanism. So she wants you to be strong. She wants you to step forward.
All right.
Okay.
That's a good answer.
Is the person I'm pursuing going to cause me deep emotional pain?
Ooh.
Oof.
That's not a good question to have to ask. See, I would be like, I would just give some... That sounds like something you're just going to be afraid of hurting. Or if you think that person might do, I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't be pursuing them in the first place.
That was.
But that's just me. That's just my logical. That's my logical, non-spiritual answer.
But that's not necessarily a wrong answer either. Ooh.
Is it a good one? Hold on, let me. Can you?
Well,
where you have the card? Can you bring it up to the camera so we can see what it looks like?
Yes.
Because what I'll do is I'll remove the questions. Otherwise, like half the screen is taken up.
Okay. So I pulled from. So this is the 8 of Wands. Okay. So spears are flying forward, or the wands are flying forward. It's action. There's water underneath. So water representing emotion. Air, wands are flying through the air. So you're pursuing, and this person that you're pursuing, you're concerned on whether or not they are going to cause you deep emotional pain. You're so evolved, like what I'm feeling in pursuing this person. You're concerned about getting hurt. Your emotions are underneath the question of your pursuit. So the water representing your emotion, your fear of this person representing or causing you pain. But I feel like that you need to let go of that fear. In any sort of relationship, we never know until we go through it. So if you're meant to be with this person, if you're meant to have emotional pain caused by this person, that's just part of your story. So I feel like you just need to pursue anyway and go forward, because also what came up is the 6 of Wands. So you had 2 cards jump out at me. So the 6 of Wands is saying that you're going to be adored. You're going to have this person is going to almost, it's like a white, like with the 6 of Wands, you've got the man on the horse, as you can see, and there's people around him. They're carrying the wands beside him. So you're going to have support from this person. So you're letting the fear, you're soaring through the air with the fear. Your emotions are running deep, but you just need to let go, because that person is going to adore you. You can give it a try.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just going to pick random comments, guys, because there's quite a few questions coming through, and when the chat's moving, I am losing track of some. So just keep asking them if the question hasn't come up.
Okay, so what is the outcome of my husband's health? These questions are kind of tricky because you're asking for a definite answer into something that is unknown that relates to your husband. So I will try my best. Just waiting for card.
Do you get a feeling as to when you're ready to pull?
I usually wait until when I get cards that jump out at me, they jump from the deck, or I do get a feeling like it's almost like a little voice in my head says stop, and it's whatever card see. Okay. So, just give me just a moment here. Did I freeze?
No, you're fine.
Okay. Okay, so what I got was the Fool. So a lot of people think that the Fool is a bad card, and it is not. This is actually number 0 in the deck. So depending on what type of treatments he's on, it's a vague question, like, what's the outcome of my husband's health? I don't know what his health issues are. I don't know what treatments he's doing. I don't know what it pertains to, but this is a positive card. So it is saying stay positive, keep diving into that positive emotion that everything is going to be okay, be fearless. Things are looking good is the basis of this card. It's a positive card because it's like a clean slate. It's like nothing has happened yet. So it has that positive vibe of like things are going to go well, in terms of whether he's doing treatment or whatnot, as long as he keeps that positive mindset, especially because there's like the little dog, like if you can see these, there's a little dog beside the Fool. So there's support. There's a cliff, so that means jumping off, being fearless, diving in, and keeping that positive emotions going into the treatment is also really important.
All right, got another good one here. Just keep repeating your questions, guys, because otherwise I'll lose the chat for like a long time. So it's better just keep asking, and then I'll bring them up as and when. It's a nice boxer as well. The doggy.
Okay, so we have, will my son be able to get out of the rotten situation he is in? And the card that popped out is the 9 of Pentacles. So the 9 of Pentacles is a really great card. It is positive. It means that things are going to be abundant. So sometimes we have to go through hard things in order to get to a good part in our lives. And the 9 of Pentacles represents abundance, represents that things are going well, that things are going to be positive. So whatever your son is going through, once he gets through it, whatever this rotten situation is, it is going to have a positive outcome. So with the card, a lot of tarot is also looking at the meaning within the card, which there is a bird on the shoulder, the sun is in behind, there is yellow sky, which is positive, it's radiating, and there is an abundance of trees, there's an abundance of fruit on the vines behind him. So that's just saying it's going to be positive. Once you get through this, it's going to be abundant for you. So yes, he will get through the rotten situation that he's in, and when he does, he will be rewarded. What does my future in bodybuilding look like? Not sure if this is a proper question. Depends on how hard you prep.
Oh, yes.
I will try my best.
I'll get another question up just before I lose it, because it's the second time.
There's one that popped up. So I also pulled the 8 of Wands for you. So again, kind of like the other person who asked a question about their lover. Water always represents the emotion. So there is the river of water below. Then there are the 8 wands soaring through the sky. So to me, when I pull this card in relation to your question, and meanings change depending on the question, like cards have various meanings dependent on the questions you're asking. This one, with the wands soaring through the sky, they're hitting their target. Rivers ebb and flow. Your emotions ebb and flow. So again, this is going to be entirely dependent on you, because we can't tell the future with cards. But what the card is saying, it's going to be your decision on what your outcome in bodybuilding is going to be. If you work hard and you stick to your plan and you put in the work and you're dedicated, then you will be rewarded. But if you let your mindset falter, if you are ebbing and flowing like the river, like the water, and if you are allowing your thoughts to be crashing, like if you think about when river hits against rocks, it's creating turmoil. That is going to make you miss your mark. So if you stay positive, if you go with the flow, go through the motions, trust the process, you'll hit it.
It's an interesting answer, that. I think Lego will know. We had some funnily enough, we had some conversations around prep and doing too much and, you know, overthinking things sometimes. So interesting. So I brought this one up earlier because I think this was the second time I saw this question pop up before I lost it again in the chat.
Okay, so for you, I'm going to pull from my You Are the Light Oracle deck because I feel like this is such a deep question. And these types of questions are the ones that work really well because there's context to it. Are you able to pull that question back up again?
Yes, sure. Sorry.
Just visualizing on it here.
Sorry about your loss, by the way.
Okay.
Oh, do you need to see it still? Sorry.
No, that's okay. Healing process in the right direction. You went through a loss already. Yes, so sorry for your loss. I did this summer as well, and I know it can be very hard. You're working hard on yourself. So the card that I got for you is the Crumbling. So what are you holding on to? This is very similar to the Towers in tarot. Towers representing you have to get rid of something in order to bring in the new. So whatever you're working on, depending on the loss, the relationship to you and how that affects you, there's something that you are hanging on to that isn't allowing you to move forward in your healing process. So there's something that you haven't discovered yet, that you haven't worked through enough in order to get to that place where you feel peace. So I always suggest in situations like this to do some shadow work. Shadow work isn't as scary as you think it is, and I can relate to this because I've had to do it for myself for things that I've had to move past, some trauma that I went through and the loss of that person who caused that trauma. I had to work through some things. So shadow work is basically your shadow self is the person that carries all your baggage. So if you are feeling like you are just not emotionally available to deal with the trauma, you basically hand that off to your shadow self. And that's how coping mechanisms develop, like eating disorders, drinking problems, addictions, is because you're not dealing with the problem. You're just kind of giving it to that person. And when that shadow part of yourself becomes too overwhelmed with all the baggage, that's when we start to have all of these mental issues like depression, further addictions, things like that. So when you actually do shadow work, you're basically meeting that person, that part of yourself, and relieving some of that baggage so that it's not so heavy. But in order to do that, you need to figure out why. What is it that you need to unpack? What is it that you need to get rid of in order for you to move past to that healing place that you are aiming to get to? And it won't happen until you do that. And sometimes that shadow work is how we figure it out, is exactly what we need to work on.
I mean, like, I don't know if this is inappropriate, but I'm going to guess it's probably something to do with guilt, because that's usually the most not normal, but it's quite a common feeling that's associated with the loss of people, right? You always feel like
guilt,
you've done more.
Anger is another one, things like that. So, yeah.
This is the second time I saw this comment as well. Just keep repeating, guys. If I do see them, but obviously you can only do one at a time.
Should I stay in Australia or go back to Scotland? Oh.
One jumped out. That's going to be...
Okay, so we have the King of Pentacles.
Oh.
Okay. So the King of Pentacles is a very good-looking guy. He's got all of the things. He's got the money. He's got the abundance. He's got everything that you're looking for. When this card pops up and you're trying to make a decision on, you kind of have to weigh the pros and cons, because this is like an outcome card of your decision. So whatever decision you decide to make, you're going to be abundant. You're going to like the outcome. It's going to be very attractive. So it could also mean that what is it that is attracting you to either staying or going? Because of the question, you said that should you stay in Australia or move to Scotland? What is it that is drawing you to go back to Scotland? If there's a thought in your mind that's like, I want to go back to Scotland, what is it that is attracting you to going? So you have to look at it and see, is there someone there that you're going there for? Is it that there's a job? Whichever it is your decision, it's going to be the right decision for you. But with this one, it's such a positive card. So if your heart is telling you to go to Scotland, then go, because this card is telling you it's going to be positive. The attraction card. So I would go with whatever you're feeling. It's hard to tell because of the pros and cons, but this is a good one. I don't know where Lona went. I'm starting a new job next week, and I have been off for 2 years due to mental health problems. Am I going to be okay? Am I going into this too soon? Okay. I was wondering where you went. You disappeared for a minute.
I don't know. Suddenly it just cut out, even though I had internet, which is really weird. I'll turn my Wi-Fi off. Wi-Fi in the UK.
Okay. Hey guys. So I feel like the tarot deck is a good one for, oh, we have a jumping card. The Page of Cups. Okay. Can you bring that question up one more
Sure.
time for me? It was a longer question. I'm starting a new job next week, and I have been out of work for 2 years due to mental health problems. Am I going to be okay, or am I going into this too soon? So this is the Page of Cups. A lot of the times when cups relate to our emotions, mostly, the page is kind of a more of an immature character. They're kind of silly and childlike and fun. And what I see here is he's holding a cup with a fish in it, and fish at this time was like, that was abundant. If you had fish, you were well fed. There's water in behind, and this beautiful blue sky is in behind on the card, and he's kind of standing, he's doing a happy dance. So this tells me that if you're starting a new job, it is going to turn out well for you. You need to go into it with a childlike curiosity and be excited about it rather than fearful. And that's really hard to do when we have, when we've been struggling with mental health issues. I totally understand. But sometimes we let that fear get in the way of a really positive outcome. And this card is a positive outcome for you. So you should just go into it with that childlike curiosity, that playfulness, that excitedness of like, what is going to happen? Get excited about this new job because there's going to be really exciting things in store for you. It's going to be an abundant thing for you. It is saying that when you go into this, you're going to be really happy with where you're going with it because it's going to come into that abundance for you. And you can't go wrong. It's, as you can see there. Yeah. I'm excited for you.
I brought up this question by Jana because I saw this one again come through a couple of times.
How will I manage the anxiety of uprooting my life in the next couple of weeks? Oh, that is 100% a goddess card question.
Thanks, Lancelot. I got up at 4 o'clock this morning on a Sunday. It's all right. I normally wake up at like 5 o'clock, so it's only an hour earlier. But yeah, it's the problem when there's large time differences. You have to spend time to make it work, but it's good though. I have a busy day ahead anyway, so. Oh.
Okay. So the card that popped out for you, Janet, is Aphrodite. Okay. So Aphrodite is a very passionate, powerful female energy. And basically what this card is saying is like, you need to awaken that goddess part of yourself. You need to stop letting the fear get in the way, and you need to start really diving into that divine feminine energy and just kind of like being a badass. Like, you're holding yourself back. You're not allowing yourself to be in your true power, in your full feminine energy. And it's causing you some anxiety. It's causing you some mental health issues because it may be rooted in some self-love. When this card pops up, you need to take care of yourself, self-care, self-love, really evoking that goddess vibe so that you are able to move forward confidently, so that you're walking through fearless. So whatever you're dealing with, whatever is causing you anxiety with your healing, more self-care, more treating yourself like the goddess that you are, and you'll be able to conquer your fears and conquer the things that are holding you back.
A question from Jackie here.
Will I ever be able to break out of my own mental health? Presenting to you or such inspiration to me. Aw, thank you. I can't seem to get out of my head since my mom and grandmother passed in 2018. Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss.
I can't imagine losing my mom and my grandma.
No, not in the same year. I feel like this is also a goddess card question.
Oh. I'll do your question next, Lennox Harlow. Or Harrow, sorry. Oh.
Okay, we had a jumping card.
Can I hide this?
Okay, so we had Vesta popped out. Oh, can you put the question back up? Oh,
sorry.
So we had Vesta pop up, and Vesta usually relates to home. Basically that there are healthy changes happening within your home. So that could be yourself, that could be your environment that you're living in, but there are positive changes happening. So when we think of ourselves as our home where we live, we have to constantly be taking care of ourselves and cleaning house, I guess you could say. So there might be some things that you're working on in your mental health that is going to help you clear maybe some feelings that you have in regards to the loss of your mother and your grandmother. Sometimes these can be regrets, sometimes, like we said, guilt. It could be anger, it could be fear, it could be things like that. Those are usually foundations and bases of why we do have mental issue, like mental problems, why we are struggling with our mental health. So when we take care of our house, we have to clean away all of those things. But it could also mean that maybe you need to make your space feel more like home, that they're there with you and they're going to help be with you and guide you through these issues as well. You have to look at it, and I think you said you have a mental health prison, I think is what she said.
She's stuck in a mental prison.
So when this card is basically saying the opposite, it's going from, you're saying it's a prison, but it's saying it's your home. So you need to be treating yourself more like a home rather than a prison. So a lot of the times these things that we do when we're having these mental health problems, we're creating them. And not saying that you're sitting there and creating it and being like, whatever is going through your mind that is causing you to have anxiety, depression. But when you look at yourself more like a prison, it's hard to feel comfortable there. You feel cold, it's not warm. So you need to start treating yourself like a home, like you're lighting a candle, you're making it warm, you're making it a place where you're happy to live. And in order to do that, you have to show yourself love, you have to clean house, you have to make your rooms cozy, but that also means cleaning out rooms that are cluttered. So those are, the parts of your mental health that you need to deal with. And it sounds like you are on the path to dealing with them. So if you take the time for self-care, for loving yourself, you're going to change how you view yourself from a prison to a home. I hope that makes sense.
I think it does. I saw this one come through earlier as well, so.
Oh, that's a heavy question.
I thought it sounded like an interesting one.
It is interesting. Oh, I wish I had. Oh, I have a deck. I don't have it with me. It's in the house. I have a deck specifically talking to people that have passed. And I don't use it very often because I don't have many people in my life that have passed, but just trying to think of which deck to use. I'm going to use the You Are the Light deck because I feel like this question.
So we'll do a few more and then we'll do the deck on me because it's going to get quite late for her. And my local troll, I think he needs feeding soon as well. Not soon.
Your local troll?
Yeah, people are like, Evo's a troll. Where's the moderators? But he's always trolling in my comment section. He's never serious.
I was gonna say you need to feed Evo.
Yeah. Maybe that's why he's being a little troll. He's hungry.
Okay. Oh. This one. Oh, we definitely had a jumping card. Okay.
Can I hide it?
The initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. So I feel like your grandmother is trying to tell you that she's okay, that she's in a good place, and that she's safe. Just because there is the darkness and then there's light at the end. So I feel like she's trying to tell you that she is in that place of light and that she's in that place of love. And also that if you are feeling darkness within yourself, that you can feel peace. You can feel the light and love, that she is there for you. Maybe you're going through something tough right now, and she's just trying to tell you that she's there, that she's giving you light and love from where she is. That's how I read that card.
Oh, that's interesting. Interesting to see if that makes sense. Oh, did I just change the screen?
And guys, too, like if it makes sense, like let me know in the comments too. Like,
yeah,
I'm offended if you say no. I'm asking Jana. My question is serious. What question are you asking?
I think about babies. We'll get to babies, baby. That would be my
spread.
Babies.
I've been dealing with medical issues since December 2019. I'm having my 12th surgery in the next couple of weeks. Will I start healing, or am I going to keep getting sick? I feel like I'm losing hope. I feel like that's a goddess card question. Goddesses are great for guiding. And oh, well, you had one jump right out at me. Mother Mary, expect a miracle.
Oh.
So you can see that there. So that one jumped right out right away. Have faith that your prayers are being heard and are being answered. So have faith. Don't lose hope. It's exactly what you said. You said you're losing hope, and this card jumped right out and it's basically telling you right to your face, keep that hope, keep that positivity. You are being protected. You are being guided. You've got Mother Mary on your side, is there with you. So just keep going through the motions of your treatments, and it's saying that you just got to keep going through it because something's going to happen that's going to be really positive for you. So just stay the course that you're on and don't lose hope, okay?
I see Brandel, he's commented as well for a second time.
Okay. I have another question similar to last, but regarding to my biological grandfather. And the crazy thing about this is I have a picture of him that's right by my bed, and I can see it every day.
What's the question, I guess?
I think it was
why they are
the grandmother.
Grandmother. Yeah, appearing to them in their dream. Oh, bless you, Sandra. And good luck with your treatment. Try and stay as strong as possible.
I'm glad that helped. Oh, my goodness.
Another jumping card.
Okay. Jumped out at me right away. The one that popped out is called Trust the Niggle. So what is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? This card says that it sounds like that you already have the answer of what you feel like your grandfather is trying to tell you. You have it. He's there. He's niggling you every day. Is it a decision? Is it something that you are undecided on that he's trying to guide you with? Maybe he's just trying to tell you that he's there for you. But this card can represent that he's just there supporting you with your making a decision that you have a niggling feeling on, or he's just niggling to tell you that he's there and he's just still with you, and you know that he loves you. Yeah. So that one.
I think we'll do this as the last question from Clarity. I think this is the second or third time I've seen this come through. And some of the people that we did pull cards on, most of them have come through and say that it definitely made sense to them and that it's helped them. So yeah.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Jackie Edwards, may I ask what the name of the card was again? I don't remember it either, to be honest. I'll keep the video up or the live stream, so I don't know if Jana remembers. I don't remember because we've done quite a few.
What was Jackie's question again?
I can't remember either. Oh,
I'll
no.
remember the
I
card.
think it was it the grandmother?
No,
I
that
think
was Lennox.
that was
Oh,
Lennox. It was a question before Lennox, I think. I
okay.
can't remember.
So the card that popped up for you is the Age of Light. So as you can see, I don't know if you can see it very well. There's a woman and she's holding her hands up and there's light beaming down. This tells me that when I'm looking at the card, that he is around you, that he's engulfing you with his light and his love, and that he's always going to be with you. And just like how our second halves and our spouses are that other part of ourself, you know, he's going to be there to help guide you. He's still, even though he is not in the physical realm, he's still with you in the spiritual sense. So you still have him. He isn't gone. He's still there with you.
Good. The question that Jackie Edwards was asking was about the mental prison.
The mental prison for yours was home.
Oh yes, home. The home card. That's it.
Home. Yeah, it was Vesta.
Yeah. All right. So shall we get on to the burning questions that Evo has? But that I kind of have too, obviously.
Okay, Evo, you get one question, and then I'm gonna do.
I think we will have the same question. Our question is around children.
Is it around children?
Well, mine is. I think his is as well. Is it, babe? Let us know. I know you're listening. He's like, how many bitcoins will I have before I die?
Is he asking, or do you want me to pull for you?
I don't know if he's asking. He might be typing. He's sometimes a little bit of his typing is a bit slow because of the language barrier. I can't see it come through. But I think he probably his question. Oh, my chat's lagging here anyway. I'm not sure.
Well, is your question about children?
My question is, yeah.
Specifically, what? Like, is it soon? Is it how? Like, well, I can't tell you how many, but.
Yeah, I think like, is it gonna happen soon? Because I keep feeling like people keep telling me that I'm pregnant and there's all these signs, and I'm kind of getting to a point where I don't want to keep testing, because if I find out that I'm not pregnant, it's just a bit disappointing, because people are telling you, oh, you definitely are, you definitely are. So, you know, okay, Eva's question is where is our future? Is it in Bulgaria or UAE? United Arabic Emirates? What? It's you mean United Kingdom, right?
Oh my goodness. Okay, hold on. We'll get to Evo's here in a second.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I have
girlfriend. Okay.
I'm gonna have 6 children.
So while we were waiting for Evo, I was thinking on your question, and I was shuffling the goddess cards, because I feel like that's more like children is more like of a goddess, a female energy type of thing. So I did a 3-card draw for you. So the card on the left represents the immediate past. The card in the middle represents the present, and the card on the right is your future, your immediate future, kind of like within the next, couple months to years type of a thing. So the 3 cards that I drew for you that jumped, 3 cards specifically jumped in order, was Abundance, Unag, which is easy does it, and the last one, which is Damara, which is guiding children.
Is it? Oh, I'm getting goosebumps.
So now I'm going to read it for you.
Okay.
Okay, so your immediate past, which is abundance and prosperity, and it's the universe is taking your intent that you have had, that you, and if you find out that you're pregnant shortly after this, like, you can send me $1 million. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I should be my lady times in the next week, so I'll find out if I'm not.
So basically it's abundance. So the intent of having children, that manifestation, the universe is basically going like, yes, we are going to give it to you. We are sending, like, you have so much prosperity. That's love in your relationship. Your business is going well. Your body is in a harmonious place. Like, all the things are just in the right place right now. And then the present, which is easy does it. You said that you're worrying. You said that yourself as I was shuffling the cards, that you're worried that it's, you know, it's on your mind. Is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? When is it going to happen? And basically the description of this card is there's no need to hurry or force things. Just let them happen as they come, and it will happen in perfect timing. And that perfect timing in the end result is going to be children. Right. So you, it says that you're good at helping children, that you're good at counseling, that you're going to use your skills to help children, that there is children in your future. So basically that you're going to be a mother. You are going to be a wonderful mother, and that there are children in your future. So holy crap, that is giving me goosebumps. I wish I could, like, show you on the camera, like, how I just got chills from that, because these cards jumped out in the exact order that they're supposed to be.
I think I've got a lead-up question to that would be, and this is something that it's not an argument in our relationship, but it's an uncertainty. So our reasons for being in the UK is very much driven by work that Evo has. And we're both, like, I am not adverse to going to Bulgaria, but at the same time, we have a good life here right now. And with what's going on in the world, there's a big chance that there's going to be job losses, that there's going to be a loss of quality of life. And we both are kind of like, are we going to stay here, or are we end up moving to Bulgaria? And I mean, if that's to happen, the moving to Bulgaria, it probably will happen soonish, I would imagine, just because of the way the current climate is. And I'm like, I'm very 50-50. It's like, I can see myself living in Bulgaria, but at the same time, it is, I know that for Evo, there's potentially like less opportunities. There is work for him, but not the kind of work that he can get over here, in terms of like the comparative salaries, opportunities. Whereas for me, it doesn't matter, because I do online work. I can work anywhere, but I'm just curious, like, because he seems very set on that Bulgaria is going to happen, and I'm the one that's like, hold on, let's not say it is until we know what's happening in the world.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing at the cards that pulled, because two jumped out at me, and that is the Knight of Pentacles and the Magician. Right. So as you're saying that, I'm just giggling because you are representing the Knight of Pentacles, and Evo is representing the Magician, and you guys are side by side, because the Knight of Pentacles is very slow in decision making. He's standing over an area of farmland. He's got the one pentacle. Horse is standing very, very stoically, and he's looking and he's contemplating on what is going on. So to me, that's exactly what you were just saying. Like, you were thinking about it. It's a slow decision. However, he is moving forward. It may be slow, but moving forward. And then we have the Magician, which is the number 1 card. So they're all numbered from 1 to, or from 0 to 10 in all of the different suits. So this is the Magician, which is all of the things to create your manifestations are on the way. So when I look at this is when I see these cards side by side, the Magician is one for manifesting. It's a positive thing. However, I think that when it's paired with the Knight of Pentacles, I think that the move to Bulgaria will be positive, because the question was whether you should or not, and the concern was job loss. So don't rush it. Take your time, but it will be fruitful.
Right. Yeah.
So you don't need to right now.
Yeah. So I've said this, like my stance on it is very much, obviously if we need to, we need to. That's different. But I wouldn't be against it, but only if there is jobs lined up. Not, oh yeah, my friend tells me I can get a job. No, no, no. There is a job that you can go to, you know? We can't just go on a whim. But it also depends. Sorry, I closed the chat because I was getting distracted. I closed the chat for myself because I was getting distracted by what people were saying. This is correct. We are refurbishing the house.
So yeah, so just diving a little bit more like on what you're just saying with this card is that I think you're right. Like with what these cards are telling me is that you guys should take your time getting there. That you should have things in place before you go.
Yeah.
Really contemplate, allow it to happen slowly. But when you do, it will be a positive thing.
Okay. That's good to know. I don't know if if there's any other things to do. I mean, you've kind of done the kids thing for me. I don't know if people want to ask any other questions, or if you were saying maybe doing some different forms of readings, maybe.
I do have some stuff. I was thinking about doing some runes, but
yes.
I'm not going to do those just yet because runes are fairly new to me and I don't feel super 100% confident in reading them for other people yet.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could answer a couple more questions, or I could answer some yes or no questions. I do have this cool thing. This is going to be harder for, I usually don't like to show people this because this is more for personal use. But doing pendulum work, a lot of people, especially watching it from that end, are going to be really skeptical because they're going to be like, oh, you're moving your hand. But for funsies, I could take one or two questions and do just a pendulum reading for somebody.
Okay, I think so. And what this is going to be a yes or no question.
Yes or no. So what you can get is, so on this mat that I have a pendulum that I use that I'm very connected with. And when I do readings for myself, they're quite accurate. Basically, the answers that you get are yes, no, maybe, and rephrase. And rephrase is meaning that maybe your question isn't clear enough or you need to ask it in a different way. So if somebody wanted a question to be asked, I could use my pendulum. But like I said, if you guys feel it's hokey, that's totally fine because you're not here. So I can totally see how somebody might think that. But if we want to do it for funsies, I'm all good for funsies.
All right. Well, let's see if there's already a question coming through.
Stay with my boyfriend. It's a very strong yes.
Good. Hopefully.
Yeah, it's saying yes.
All right. Will Shikara transformations get up to 100,000 subscribers?
Don't need a pendulum to do that. If this says no, don't shoot me.
I think it will take a long time, but eventually, perhaps.
It does say yes.
Oh, good.
It's a definite yes. I wonder if I can like scoot my camera down so you guys can see my mat. Okay, there we go. Don't mind my.
Will I be moving next year?
That's a no.
Oh, there we go. Oh, they're coming in hot and fast again.
Oh no.
Will I have children?
It's saying to rephrase. So, will I have children is a pretty vague question. So, you could ask, will my first child be a boy, or something like that. It needs to be more specific. It's also a question that, like when you say, am I going to have children? There's too many factors or variables behind just that. It's too big.
Will my new career change be successful for me?
It's a very strong no.
Oh.
Sorry.
Sorry.
But please don't take it as fact. Don't quit because this said no.
Will I be financially secure in the future?
You're gonna have to rephrase that one. It's not moving.
Okay. Lennox rephrased. Will she have a son, or will he have a son? I assume a she, but
Maybe.
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 Should I move out of state next year?
No.
Okay, there you go. Will I be reunited with my childhood best friend?
You might have to rephrase. There's no response.
Okay. I don't think. I think it's maybe too vague. But will the friend that gaslit me leave me alone at some point?
It's a little too vague.
Oh
Yeah.
man, this is horrible. Well, is my neighbor okay? She was reported missing to the police today. I
Oh
hope
my
she is.
goodness. Oh gosh.
That's awful. Oh my god, look at how it's moving.
It's not a question that I can answer.
Yeah. Will I be with my current partner forever?
Yes.
Good. Will I have a successful career?
Too vague.
Too vague. Let's see if there's any more coming through. Richie, am I lefty or righty? That's not a yes or no answer. I don't know if there's any more coming through. I think that's pretty much it, really. So I think what we'll do is we'll round up here because it's almost been an hour and a half anyway.
Oh yes.
So thanks for that. That was fun. That was interesting. That was something different for sure. And tell me, what are you going to be up to over the next couple of weeks, couple of months? We'll have to set up maybe in a few weeks' time another just fitness Q&A live stream that went really well last time.
Yeah, for sure. I get breakfast. No. Hugo gets no breakfast. The next couple of weeks, I am just going to be focusing on training. So I've actually switched gyms, really. I've started training at a whole new gym. So I felt like I kind of wanted to change some scenery, get refocused. So I switched up my gym. So I'm just going to be doing a lot more training, still strength training, still working. I'm going to be celebrating Halloween, of course, or Samhain for me. But yeah, other than that, and just working, I'm doing a lot of new training at my vet job. So I'm learning how to do some things that are pretty exciting. So, and I've started going back to school, upgrading. Oh, nice. So I've been doing that. But yeah, just kind of just living life, doing the thing. Planning out doing some fun stuff on my YouTube channel. I know I keep saying that, but I've been planning it out. So it's going to be good when I get my stuff figured out. I've been talking to the gym, the new gym that I'm going to, about what their rules are for filming so that I can film some stuff in there because they've got a pretty cool setup in there. But yeah, other than that, just hanging tight. Gothic look. How about you? What's going on with you in the next couple weeks?
I don't know. At the moment, last week I've been really busy filming for a couple of videos that I'm going to start doing as of next week. And yeah, just usual stuff, work, train. It's my birthday soon on the 4th of November, so I'll probably go live in the daytime. Yeah. So no real plans, to be honest. Kind of just usual things, working, filming, editing, training. So I do have I have one of the girls in the gym that runs it. Me and her end up talking. So I now kind of have a training partner. So if you enjoy watching two women that are strong and buff train, then keep an eye on my vlogs because there'll be quite a few training vlogs just in general because we're going to train a few times a week now. So that's nice.
That's exciting. That's awesome. I look forward to watching them. I'm always watching your videos in the morning while I'm doing cardio. So
yeah. But yeah, no real plans, to be honest. Just
making babies?
Yeah, making babies. Which reminds me. I've been told he's in bed, apparently. He's in bed eagerly awaiting me, I think. Just joking. He needs to eat. And he's training first. So there's no fun times before training,
No.
Strength goes down.
Right. Train first, then fun.
Yeah, strength goes down. So
cardio.
So yeah. But that's it. So yeah, awesome. I mean, I enjoyed this. Thank you very much for coming on and sharing this little bit about yourself. I thought it was quite in the vein of Halloween, spooky season, something a little bit different, because I kind of get a bit bored of doing the same things as well sometimes, So this was a nice change of scenery for me. And thanks for everybody that was in the chat. That you look like a Kate Wizard. You look like a in real life goth. And are you single? I have friends who are single. She's not single. She's married. Married with children. Right? Married?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's married with children. So sorry, Kate. But yeah, thanks to everybody in the chat for participating, for everybody coming along, for you staying up. And I'll keep the video up. So if people want to rewatch it later, look yourself out. And we'll let you. If I find out I'm pregnant, I'll be sure to let you know.
Yeah, you better.
Before I make an official announcement. All right, guys.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me. I hope you guys had fun. Like I said, I normally don't do this for other people, so if this helped you, I'm glad that it did. And yeah, maybe I'll do more of this stuff. Who knows? Now you guys know I'm out of the broom closet.
Yeah. What I'll do is I'll link her channel down below so you can take a look at it if you want. I'll do it in the description when I edit it later. So, all right. All right. So, bye, guys.
Bye.